Hey everyone, this is Dr. Andy with AG Thrive, and I am here today to deliver a special message that is specifically for those individuals, students, or anybody that is taking a test that might experience test anxiety, which in my experience in my private practice is actually quite a bit. So I want to give you some tools, suggestions, practices that help you to grow the test scores that you want. To start off this kind of exercise of the video, I want to briefly just kind of touch upon like anxiety, like what is it, why do we experience it? From an ancient standpoint, it simply was a response of when we were in danger, right? And it actually gives us these superpowers. And so it creates this series of like physical symptoms that we have, from the chills to, anyways, I won't go into all the symptoms, but all the things that we experience when we start to feel a heightened level of anxiety are necessary if we had to suddenly run like the wind or get ready to fight for our lives, right? But when we're sitting in a classroom, we start to experience those things. It's very unsettling and in some regards can feel completely destabilizing or debilitating. And so I want to give you some ways that you can try and prepare in advance for a test that I think will be helpful. And then some ways if you're in the classroom and you start to have that anxiety, what you can do in that moment to try and like de-escalate that process. All right, so what you can do prior to the test that I think could be really helpful in decreasing or potentially even eliminating unnecessary stress or anxiety is starting off first off with a good night's rest, right? And for most kids, depending on their age, it's probably going to be somewhere between 8 to 10 or 11 hours of sleep. But waking up feeling refreshed, is going to prime your brain to be in kind of optimal alert condition and states to do well on the test. What you eat is going to impact how you feel while you're taking the test. So if you eat a bunch of high sugar foods, you probably are going to get that nice boost where you feel more energetic and up with a nice crash that comes down afterwards. That can certainly be destabilizing. I think some of the foods that we know are like good brain foods are certainly some of the nuts, cashews, almonds, things like that are a great snack, unless of course you have a nut allergy. I think avocados, guacamole, stuff like that. I'm certainly not a nutritionist, but it's easy to find or look up. But your diet can impact your experience of anxiety during a test. I also think creating some type of like mantra or just trying to have a positive mental attitude prior to going to the test is huge. So whatever that mantra might be, I've got this, I can do this, really seeing this as an opportunity to like demonstrate knowledge that's already there, right? Hey, I prepared for this and now's my opportunity to show what I've got. And to have a growth mindset around that, right? That if I didn't have the performance that I wanted to this time, I just need to work harder to keep, kind of improving. So those are some things prior to the test. Now, what if you're taking the test and all of a sudden anxiety spikes and there you are, suddenly it's like, I can't think straight. I'm not able to process this question. That can be very unsettling. So one of the things that you should do that really should probably be recommended like across the board for all students before taking the test is to do a nice, healthy yawn and slow stretch. There's crazy research on a book that I'm happy to link if you're interested on all the scientific benefits to your brain for doing the yawn and slow stretch. And in fact, many sports coaches and performance coaches actually have their athletes or in classrooms at college, they have their students do a slow yawn and stretch beforehand because it oxygenates the brain, it lowers stress. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're bored or tired. It's a great way to kind of clear the cobwebs and increase your brain's alertness. So I think beyond that, if you are actually feeling anxiety and you're taking the test, the quickest way to de-escalate that process is to do 4 breaths where you breathe in as if you were breathing in through a straw, right? So you breathe in and then immediately release again as if you're breathing out through a straw. And then breathe in. You want to do like you want to fill up your lungs and kind of breathe in through your diaphragm, but you're breathing in through a straw, breathing out through, not an actual straw, but as if you were breathing in through a straw. That alone doing that is incredibly powerful and can immediately take your anxiety on a scale of like 8 or 9 down to like a 4 or a 5. So I think that's huge. It engages the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the pumping the brakes on that kind of fight or flight response. Beyond that, again, remembering to go back to your mantra, or even to tell yourself, like a lot of high performers understand that if you're looking at the brain when it lights up during anxiety, anxiety and excitement are like two sides of the same coin when it comes to what's happening in your brain. So telling yourself, hey, this is a test that I really want to do well in, and it means a lot to me, and I'm really excited right now for this opportunity. It's surprisingly effective in helping you to reframe and to kind of to use that stress in a more powerful, positive way, right? And stress and anxiety actually can be a very healthy thing, right? I think the idea of dreading that anxiety actually has its own tendency to intensify the experience of anxiety. There's also some things if you're taking a series of tests, right? Like if you take a test one day and then you have to take another test the next day. So in between tests, you should probably, go back to getting good rest, but have some way of like de-stressing. Meditation is an awesome practice to do. Getting exercise is another great thing to do after the test and before the next day's one. Doing some type of creative fun outlet where you get to laugh and kind of engage, that fun, playful, creative side of the brain is a great way to loosen your brain up from being rigid and allowing it to be more flexible and a better problem solver. I really hope that these are helpful. If you need any more suggestions, I'm happy to give you more customized instructions or to give you some more ideas. This is Dr. Andy with AG Thrive, hoping that you can grow the life, love, family, and success you want, and to grow the test scores that you deserve. Thanks.